Hi, welcome to my latest product review video. In this one, I'm going to be looking at another WinBridge personal amplifier. I've already reviewed a couple of them for WinBridge. The first one that I did, guess almost a couple of years ago, did pretty well. Had a lot of options to it. Had two wireless microphones. One was a headset and one was a standalone. This one, according to what I've read, it only has one microphone and it's wired attached to it, which, we'll see. That may help the voice amplification and the reception through the microphone to a greater extent than the last one that I looked at. Because the one that I did about a year ago, the pink one, was really considered a rose something or the rose red. It didn't do quite as good as the first one, so we're going to get a pretty good comparison between the three here now. So I'm going to do a box opening. We're going to see what it comes with. I'm going to follow the instructions and charge the batteries according to this. It says that it can run for 8 to 10 hours. And only takes 3 to 4 hours to charge. Well, I'm going to be testing that, and we'll see how that does. It also has what looks like a strap you can put on it. That can be around the neck, or around the waist, or on the waistband. I guess it's got a clip too. So we'll see. So let's open it up and see what's going on inside. It's got quite a bit of tape that's been wrapped around it, so I'm not sure whether it was the person who packed it or what. The box is a little bit dinged up, but nothing severe. Little tear here, but I suspect it'll be okay. It'd be nice if they had put it inside of a box to ship it to me rather than one of those soft packs. I guess the soft pack had gotten thrown around a little bit. Well, let's open it up and see. Got my knife here. Let's cut through this tape. Okay, what we got inside here is a little instruction manual. I'm going to read through that very carefully and make sure I fully understand how to move forward to start testing it. I will attempt to test every one of the functions that is on here, so we'll see how that works out. Here it is. It looks very similar in styles to the first one that I reviewed, although it doesn't have that, what I critiqued as a little bit of a negative. It doesn't have that gaudy band across the top. It has green over here on both sides and the top, and black on the front and back. Now it does say on the box, which I was wondering about, it says it is green. I guess you can get an all black. This one is marked as wired, and it looks like you could get a wireless version of it as well. It's the M600. Okay, what else we got in here? Okay, it looks like that's a charging plug. It uses regular 5 volts, so I'm sure that's a USB. It has, I guess that's the, not the power adapter, I guess that's an adapter for the headset. Oh, the headset has its own. Let me open this up. So the headset is plugged into the unit itself. Let me see, where does that go? I guess along the side here. Again, I'll open up the instructions and take a look. Yeah, there it goes. There's the USB charger. It looks like it has a micro SD card adapter in here. And it has the headphone, has a little symbol for headphones. So the headphone will plug into that. Not sure what that is. Get my knife out again so I can lift up the edges of this thing. Looks like a tear. Yeah, it's got a little LCD screen here. So we'll see how that looks after it's been charged. It's got a really nice clip. I like this one. It really feels rugged compared to that last one that I looked at. And even the one before that. This looks like the most rugged of them. It looks like this has a nice rubberized case around it. It looks like it's waterproof. And I believe I did read on the outside here it is supposed to be waterproof. It's got the holders for the band. Let me take a look at that. So that's a nice little around the neck band. Not sure I like the green, this OD green. I guess it would be good if you're like trying to go through the woods or something. But we'll take a look. Looks like there's controls up at the top here. Oh, they click. So these controls do click through the rubberized side, or in this case, the rubberized top. So I'll read the instructions and we'll find out. Of course, this is the charger. So plug this in here and charge it up. It's got a USB-C here. I don't see a USB-C here necessarily. Let me see, is it on the other side? Yeah, there's a USB-C over here. Is that a USB-C? No, it's not. It's a micro USB. So this should plug right into here. Oh, so we got a charge on this side. Okay, like that. I guess the USB is for putting a USB in, just like the other models that I reviewed of their products. Or a micro SD. Okay. So I'm going to have to plug this in. and we'll see how it goes. Does it light any lights up? I don't see any lights light up. There we go. So it's got a 96 and a 6 in the little LCD display here. So I'll have to read the instructions and see what that's about, but I'll leave it charging for now right here, and we'll come right back. Okay, it looks like it's all charged now. I was holding it the wrong way before. It was actually saying 96. Now it says 100. I will go ahead now and start doing some testing with this and see how it works out. It is extremely rugged. I mean, I actually dropped it a couple of times and it keeps on ticking. The case is meant to be rugged. It's meant to be dropped. It's clear that, you know, it's got sort of a really tough outer shell. It's very waterproof, obviously. I didn't test that, but I may wind up accidentally soon. But every single one of the ports is protected by a little open port here that you have to pull out of the way and then move to the side. And that's charging, it's all of the different connections, it's everything. Both sides of them have different things. This side of here actually has the DC input and the, you see, it looks like the microphone input, and the other side here, it has the aux input, which is why they gave you the aux cable. It's not very long, unfortunately. This cable is probably only a couple of feet long. So you're not going to get a lot of distance out of it, but you could connect a device that's nearby, obviously. I won't be testing this because I don't have a device that delivers through the 3.5 millimeter cable. But I'll test everything else. I have the headset. I'll put this on and we'll see what it looks like. And I'll try it with a regular USB type A. And I'll also try the micro SD card. And I've put music selections on both of these devices, so I should be able to play them. And we'll see how it actually goes. Let me start off with the headset. Let me put this on here. This can be bent to whatever you want. When you turn it on, you press the center button here at the top, and it allows for the on, and it actually plays a tune when it comes up. Now, to adjust the volume, you have to actually use the same controls you use to change tracks on whatever device you happen to have connected in terms of a reader, whether it's a USB type A or the SD, whatever. But the same thing that would change the tracks on it, you sort of hold those buttons down on a long press, and this one here brings the volume down, and this one here brings the volume up. You don't really see any indication of it. I was expecting to see something in the LCD display, but it doesn't show anything on that. Well, for example, let me plug it in, and hopefully I don't get feedback. When I was testing it, I got quite a bit of feedback on that. So I'll plug the microphone in. I'll try to keep it away from my other microphone. Okay, it is now plugged in. So at this point, it's actually speaking through here. Let me take this microphone off or pull it out so I can get it away from myself. Okay, so now you're hearing it through this player at this point. And if I wanted to increase the volume, I would press this one here on the top, and then the volume will go up. Oops, I went too far, as an example. So I come back down again. And there we go. So that's using the headset. And it actually plays pretty well. I like the sound of it. I've had other people take a listen to it at a distance of several feet to a dozen feet away, and they could hear everything that I had to say. So there was no problem with that. So now let me take the microphone off, and I'll pick the regular USB. And I'll plug the USB. It goes into this side here. We'll plug this in.
USB flash driver playing.
So now it's automatically. I had to lower the volume, obviously. Okay. Gets pretty loud. If I want to change the tracks, I give short pulses to those same two switches. Track change up, track change down. Actually, it should be held like this, I guess. Track change up, track change down. They're really hard to see in the camera here. It's kind of hard to see it, but if you look in the manual, you probably see it pretty good. So let me try to change into track. Soft music. Elevator music. This is from the YouTube library, so there's all sorts of music out there. And I stop it by the center one, the same one you would turn on and off with a long pause. I'll just hit this and it stops it, center button. So it's got like a regular cassette player or a CD player that some people might be familiar with. And if I take this out,
Bluetooth is waiting for connection.
I'll do that later, but for now let me put in the SD card. This takes really small fingers, I'm afraid, to get this thing in and out. So if I come in here, I use an empty SD card shell to push it in. My fingers are not that small, so I have to push it in this way.
Bluetooth is waiting for connection.
It's not in all the way yet.
TF card
Now it's
playing.
in. Okay. Now it's playing it right off the bat, just like we did before. We can change the tracks. Again, there's no indication other than the amount of power that I could see in the LCD display. You change the mode here with the M button.
Bluetooth is waiting for connection.
So the only two it can actually switch between is Bluetooth or one of these connections. The aux in, what they call the TF card, which is a micro SD card, and the regular USB type A. So as long as it's said that, let me switch to the other view and I'll show you how the Bluetooth works. Pretty straightforward. Okay, let me hit the mode button and switch it to the Bluetooth.
Bluetooth is waiting for connection.
Okay. So with that, let me take my phone and we'll take a look. So I went into Bluetooth on my phone, scroll up, and there it is, M800. So I'll hit that one.
Bluetooth is connected.
Bluetooth is connected. Let me switch to my videos. The second one, I haven't decided yet. I may get
I put my video on.
New server, my new application server. And for that one, I would use fiber.
I can control the volume by just holding down.
Fiber connection between the computer and my network. Worked fine, and the only difficulty I ran into was I was hoping that by using the same Wi-Fi password.
Let me see if I stop it here.
All of the connection.
It stops it. It stopped my video as well. It's as if I paused it. So by doing that, I clicked on my video, now my video is actually paused. So you can play from your phone through this device as well. It's down to 93%. I've been using it now for about 45 minutes. So I'm going to keep using it and then test it out to see how much power this thing and how long it lasts. I'll be playing some music, I guess. I'll play some more of these and we'll see what happens. So I'll let it play and we'll see what happens in terms of how long this goes. Well, after a couple of days of testing, I've completed my full evaluation of this WinBridge personal amplifier. Now, I'll be honest with you here. I am surprised. I'm surprised by a couple of things with this. You heard in my samples that I've recorded earlier in this video, the sound is not bad at all and it has quite a bit of capability to it. But I never would have imagined that the battery life would be as extensive as this thing was. Now, I may not have used or tested it in all of the different use cases, but I went ahead and put a USB stick on here with, a dozen or so different pieces of music on it. And I had this thing play for about 17 hours, way beyond what the specs and the description that the manual talked about for this device was capable of doing. Now, it didn't even get to the point where it said that the battery needed to be charged, but it was down to about, I would say, 25%, 26% when I decided to finally give up on it. Now, one thing I noticed was that, which is a little bit concerning, this little display only displays the battery life in percentage, how much is left. The manual is a little bit wrong on that part because it shows other types of displays that could be there, and that just doesn't happen. And even the manual says it in a different section, that all it displays is the percentage of battery life left. However, that wasn't what surprised me. It sort of counted down from the 100 that it started with, went down to about 18%, and then it sort of rebounded up to like 92%. Counted down again, and then when it got down to about under 20%, it did it again. So it was actually the third cycle through this thing, when I gave up on it at about 25%. So I really don't know how long this thing would have lasted. Now obviously, as I said, the use case was just playing music from the USB Type A device that I had connected to it. I wasn't using it to take the headset and amplify it out and project it. I also had the volume a little bit on the low side because it was running, quite late into the evening. But still, the fact that it lasted that long just playing music continually, I was very surprised. And then, once I decided to take it off and try to recharge it, it recharged back to 100% in just about 2 hours, which is, again, below what the specs for this device said. Take it as it may, I think this is a very high-quality device for what it's trying to do. So anyway, thanks for watching. Till the next time.